All right, next question up says, I was just wondering if, since I had to drop out of my previously planned competition only about a week or so beforehand to deal with some injuries, if you would advise that I take a longer off season before prepping for another meet. As of right now, I'm planning on competing in December, but I'm dealing with some minor shoulder impingement and coming off of a knee injury. If I would, I wonder if it would be smarter to compete in April instead. So my thoughts on this are really it depends on your injury. You know, in general, just cutting a meet beforehand. The normal systems of guided programming are going to take care of you, and they're going to take care of your off season. You don't really have to worry about it. The only exception to that's going to be if you're, competing, 6, 7, 8 times a year. If you're doing that much competing, then you're probably cutting out all your off-season work. So you may never be getting any off-season work. So at that point, we may want to build in something that's a planned, more extended off-season. But if that's not the case, and it doesn't seem to be the case here, then the normal flow of guided programming should take care of you. Now, in your particular case, you've got an injury that you're working through, and I would say that you want to um, basically deal with that injury first, and then see what you're left with. So get healthy first, because you're going to have to do that first no matter what. So after you're healthy and you're able to return to more normal training, see how much time you've got. If we're only talking about another week or two before you can return to normal training, then you'll probably have plenty of time to train for a December comp. If it's going to take you a lot longer than that, if you're not going to get healthy until, say, November, then, competing in December is probably a bit too quick of a turnaround. So I think dealing with that injury will help shed some light on how you should play this particular circumstance. So with that said, Ross, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I think the other thing that can be added to that too is that, say, like recovery from the injury is kind of puts you more in that time frame of uh, back into creating the question where you're not sure if you have enough time to get ready or not. Maybe change your approach for the meet, and instead of going into the meet wanting to smash a bunch of PRs and win first place and do things like that. Maybe just go do it and have fun and forget about all the other stuff and take the pressure off and just go hang out with your lifting friends and move some weight, and maybe probably even take it a little bit easy just to avoid re-hampering anything. Go to like a single at a RP9 instead of all out at a 10.
Yeah, I like that idea. I think that's something that it's easy to get caught up into, especially for our guided programming folks, is that, you know, going to a competition seems to be all about setting PRs and lighting the world on fire, but there's other reasons to compete as well. And if you're serious about this and you want to be a good powerlifter, then gaining competition experience is useful in its own right. In addition to the other reasons that Ross already mentioned. So take advantage of that stuff too. Um, you know, consider competing to get something out of it other than just PRs. I mean, of course, if a PR is there, then go for it. But um, there are other reasons to consider to compete. So if any of that stuff resonates with you, I'd go ahead and get signed up. If not, then sit tight and see how your injury plays out, and you can always make a decision a little bit later on.